If you are a new 4K player and have asked people how to improve, they probably have told you to play more. And well, they are not wrong when they tell you this, because it is the most important advice, but this advice most likely leaves the one who asks the question disappointed and a bit confused. Now, this is understandable because it does sound condescending and very much incomplete. So today, I will give you the complete beginner guide. This guide is going to be fairly short because improving in the game is fairly straightforward. And to the more advanced players watching this, don't worry because I will be making an advanced guide in the future as well. So first things first, if you just started playing like 1 or 2 weeks ago, your number one priority is to unironically play more until you can hit the correct key per note. So you are not fumbling over the keyboard and you get to build the very basic muscle memory. This step should not take longer than few weeks max, depending on how much you play. And even after you somewhat know how to correlate certain notes with certain keys, you will still have random shit misses happening and your Acc is not going to be the greatest. So you shouldn't aim for double A's and in general not think about Acc much at all. Getting something like 85% scores is going to help you much more with the reading than actually getting 93s, because in the beginning stages of play, reading is going to be the biggest obstacle for you, not speed. This will be relevant until you are like 20 MSD. After you can hit the correct notes, you should be increasing the difficulty of the files you play. And what I'm going to tell you here is very important. In Etterna, everything that is rated less than 20 MSD is going to be rated very inaccurately, so basically you shouldn't be looking at the MSD almost at all when first starting out. So instead of using MSD to gauge difficulty, what you need to do is to look at the jump and hand count of the file. As a beginner, jumps, hands and/or chords are going to be the things you are going to struggle the most on. The reason for this is that you are still not super used to reading them and your muscle memory is not great. So look for the jump and chord count and press space in the song select to see the patterns beforehand. Remember to use rates and increase scroll speed. Rates are used to change the speed of the song so you can make the file harder or easier. Down rates are super useful for basically every player, but especially for beginners, so do use them. The song might sound a bit whack on down rates, but if you care about improving, they are OP. And for scroll speed, you should be increasing it almost every day. Don't increase it too much at a time, because it will feel impossibly fast, but increasing it by 5 or 10 every day should do the trick. Increasing scroll speed is the key for reading dense files, so try to increase your scroll speed a little bit. Your sweet spot is higher than you thought and it will keep increasing until you are at around 800 to 1000 CMod. After getting more used to the game, if you are unlucky, you might discover index and/or bad files. These files are rated very highly by the MSD calculator, so there have been many cases of newer players getting trapped to farming them. This is called index hell. Index hell is when a player only plays index files until they are like 20 MSD, and when they try new stuff, they can't play them because index files have way easier patterns to read and to hit for beginners. This combined with some new players having a bad mindset for playing things that are too hard, they make the problem even worse for themselves. I've seen some newer players trying to justify themselves, saying things like, well, look at Swarm C, he's insane at the game and he plays index stuff all the time, so why shouldn't I? The reason for why Swarm C plays them is that they help with short drilling speed and they can be quite tricky to play at very high speeds, so it's also good for improving very specific parts of your technique. Now, a newer player doesn't have to worry about their speed at all, and the small benefits to very specific patterns doesn't justify playing them more than something that has actual patterns. Heck, even most advanced players don't have to think about their speed. Like, when you feel like, oh man, if I just had the same hands as a tank does, I would be insane. You are just not thinking logically. We are all human, we all have similar bodies. If someone can hit something at certain speeds, most of us also have the capability to physically do it as well. The only difference between players is their ability to read and their technique. And why index files are really bad to play for beginners? It's because they are really easy to read and don't help with developing technique for most files. So instead of index files, I have the best beginner friendly pack series listed down in the description. These packs have multiple files and difficulties and a wide range of patterns that are excellent for beginners. Also, playing NBJS 3-5 with the down rates is very good once you get to around 18 MSD. To sum up this guide, you need to play more, which is something that everyone tells you to do, but the thing that is even more important is to play the right stuff. So just download the packs that I've recommended and you should be all set. Don't think too much about accuracy and some really nuanced things yet, because they are not important to you at the moment. Also, don't play if your hands are feeling pain, like actual pain. Feeling fatigue or slight strain is normal and something that tells you you are improving. If you see anyone asking tips for improving as a beginner, instead of telling them to play more, you can just send them this video and hopefully they watch it and don't get stuck in index hell. If you feel like I missed something in this video, feel free to comment it and I will be favoriting every single comment that I feel like is great information for beginners. This was my first time making a video like this, so it's a bit scuffed and yeah, thanks for watching.